Hey everybody, in the last video I showed you guys how to remember the derivatives of trig functions. So in this video I will show you how to remember the integrals of trig functions. If you remember this table up on the top, which we made in the last video, we are gonna use the same table for this video, and also we are gonna add few more stuff in this table for the integral part. Also, my goal for you guys is by the end of this video, I want you to know what the integrals of this 10 integrals up here are through this table we are gonna make. Alright, so before we start, just remember the derivatives are the opposite of integrals, and the integrals are just the opposite of derivatives. So for example, if derivative of sine x is cosine x, then the integral of cosine x is just sine x. So for this part, the answer is sine x plus c. This c is a constant, and you should never forget it for the indefinite integral. Similarly, the derivative of cosine x is negative sine x. Thus, the integral of sine x is negative cosine x. This negative part is from here, because if you shift this part up here, then this is what you are gonna get. Alright, so the integrals on the left side are double integrals, or not the integrals, I mean the double functions. So there are two functions. So secant squared, it's secant times secant times tangent, cosecant times cotangent, and so on. And the integrals on right are single trig functions. So let's start with the double. So the first is secant squared x. So secant squared is just secant times secant. So if you look at this table horizontally, there is secant times secant. So secant times secant, the only part we are left with is tangent. So the integral of secant squared x dx is gonna be tangent x plus c. Similarly, for integral of cosecant squared dx, so cosecant squared is just cosecant times cosecant, is gonna be the left part, which is cotangent. So cotangent x plus c. But there is this negative sign here, which we did not have up here. So for the cotangent part, we are gonna get this negative sign right at the answer. For the third part, secant times tangent, so we have a secant up here times tangent. The left part is secant itself, so the answer for third integral will be secant x plus c. For the fourth part, which is cosecant times cotangent, so if we look up here, cosecant times cotangent, the left part is negative cosecant. So the answer for this is negative cosecant x plus c. Alright, now let's move on to the single trig functions. So for the integrals of single trig functions, we will add two things on this table. First is we will add up here ln of secant x plus c, and up here ln of sine x plus c. Remember, every single trig function, tangent, cotangent, cosecant, and secant, except sine and cosine, are all logarithmic functions, or the integral of this four single trig functions is gonna give you the logarithmic functions. So let's start with tangent, and there is no trick for how to remember the integral of tangent and cotangent. You literally have to cram it down, and that's what I have done before. So simply the integral of tangent is ln secant x plus c. Same for the cotangent, it's just ln sine x plus c. But for integral of secant, the answer is secant. This arrow will be a plus sign plus tangent. As I said before, it's a logarithmic function, so it's gonna be ln secant x plus tan x plus c. Same for the integral of cosecant part. It's just cosecant minus cotangent. This sign will move here. So it's ln cosecant x minus cotangent x plus c. This second part for the individual trig functions is a little trickier, and you have to remember a lot of stuff. For example, all of those four, tangent, cotangent, secant, and cosecant, are logarithmic functions. Alright, they are logarithmic functions, so you don't want to mess that out. And instead of multiplying like we did in derivatives, this time you will be adding and subtracting this function for secant and cosecant. Also, for tangent, you can actually see this secant and be like, oh, it's this integral of tangent is logarithm of secant plus c. But for cotangent, I'm pretty sure you will need to remember it's logarithm of sine x plus c. This table is really helpful. It will help you to remember the derivatives of trig functions. If you want to know how to remember the derivatives of trig functions through this table, watch my last video. And as I showed in this video how to remember the integrals of trig functions, you already know how to do it. So good luck in your exams. I'll see you in the next video.